Saturday morning flight sim.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Good morning, good evening, good day, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. We've got a big treat today. It's the Just Flight RJ100. This thing is amazing, to say the least. A little bit more complicated than your average airliner, though. We're going to go through that today. Huge shout out to Just Flight for producing this amazing product. And we've got news at cruise as usual, and oh my god, there's so much to talk about this week, it's insane. It's just been a crazy week. Big shout out to Nighthawk, he's on the tarmac with me today, and hello to Cameron. Cameron's first through the gate today. Hope you're doing well. As normal, we shall be beginning our route from Cold and Dark today, actually, so I'm going to walk you through all the systems. And then once we get up to cruise level, we'll have some news. Hopefully we'll get everybody can join in and talk about all the events of this week. And it's been a heck of a week. An absolute heck of a week. So anyway, let's go through the route. And I've got a funny video to show you, which I think sums up this week really perfectly. So today we are taking off from Paphos. Don't know why that's very dark for some reason. Taking off from Paphos, we'll be using the that is the RJ100 departure, which is pretty straightforward. It's basically straight out from runway 11, make a turn to RJ, and then off we go. Down over the Med, and then getting into North Africa, into Egypt. We're flying to Cairo today, and we're going to be, it's basically a direct to 5 right, which doesn't really work because 5 right's actually going the other direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly into CA 464. Now there's this waypoint here called CA 442. So we're either going to find that or something similar to it, and then connect up. So we'll probably come in about like this, down, and then make a turn, come back onto the localizer. ILS approach into runway 5 right today. So that's the plan anyway. As for the airport, where are we right now? We are sitting there. So runway 11 is here. So what we actually need to do is we have to back out, nose to the right, head along over to Charlie here, cross the runway onto Bravo, all the way down, back on Alpha, and then lining up runway 11 for a straight out departure. And that's really it. So anyway, heck of transitions, CVO, Sol. Would Sola 5? Yeah, it would. It's a bit ropey, and it's not an airplane I'm totally familiar with, so it might go wrong. But it kind of, even then, it's a little bit strange because it's got like a kind of a funny loopy thing. Oh, excuse me. Gassy today for some reason. Right, but we've got this funny video that I wanted to show off anyway. So let me show you that, because this just tickled me when I saw it the other day, and I think it just really puts everything into perspective. That's all I can say.
Eine große Verantwortung liegt nun auf Ihren Schultern. Sie müssen die Luftwaffe vom Grunde auf umkrempeln. Es wurden viele Fehler gemacht, seien Sie unerbittlich.
Mein Führer, dann ist die 9. Armee verloren.
In einem rücksichtslosen, mit aller Kraft geführten Gewaltschlag zurückwerfen.
Die 9. Armee ist nach Norden hin bewegungsunfähig.
Wink soll mit der 12. Armee die Sache unterstützen. Dieser Versager, dieser Schmarotz. Was hat er daraus gemacht? Aber dafür müsste man ihn an die Wand stellen. Hat die Korruption in unserem Staat möglich gemacht.
Mein Führer, bei allem gebotenen Respekt gestatten Sie die Frage, was soll aus den Frauen und Kindern werden? Den Tausenden von Verletzten und den Alten?
Ich verstehe Ihre Bedenken, Onkel.
5 hours later.
Das ist der schlimmste Verrat von allen! Ein wildfremder, unberechenbarer Künstler. All die anderen, ja. Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS. Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich.
Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre! Sie nennt sich Generale, weil sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält! Widerstand in den Weg gelegt! Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin! Verräter! Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden! Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke! Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen! Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden es saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut. Verrat an meiner Person! An meiner Person!
Oh, absolutely class. That was from the Hitler Rants channel. Obviously, there's been many incarnations of this, but I just thought that was absolutely spot on. Oh, and yeah, I mean, really, what can you say? It is getting better, but yeah, for all the hype and excitement and anticipation, man, it was absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. I mean, for Asobo as well, obviously they didn't want it, but they've made some shocking admissions this week, particularly on the load testing. I mean, the numbers just didn't make sense to me. 200,000 concurrent users. I was thinking, sure. I mean, I guess we always think that we're bigger community than we are, but I thought that seemed like a really low number, and it was. Right now they're saying it should have been more like 500,000 or something like that. I would have thought easily 1 million. Cameron says, I love career mode, but keep losing point to stupid reasons. Yeah. Forced to take off on closed runways, penalized for over speed flaps and ground not moving. Yeah, I mean, I had a few flights today, or not today, this week, and I have been, trying out some things. I mean, the default planes, I tried the 320, the 330, the Max. I think I tried a Cessna. I mean, the Cessna was fine. Everything else, it kind of mostly works. is the best way I can probably describe it. But there's just problems. There's just a lot of things that are still... It is like day one release. It's a typical day one release. And I think Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 was no different, right? It took a couple months before I think a lot of the major kinks were worked out. So it is what it is. But anyway, and I'm not in any rush because obviously most of the payware stuff, the good payware stuff, is no danger of being ported to 2024 in a hurry. But it will come soon, but just not yet. So, well, we're stuck with 2020. But anyway, I got to show you this airplane. It's absolutely crazy. So this is the Avro RJ100. This is a modification that had an upgraded FADEC and FMS to the British Aerospace 146. So there is some similarities, but obviously the avionics are a little bit different. So what we're going to do, turn this on. Sorry, just make sure my levels are correct here. Bring up the sim noises a bit. There we go. And it's got a great EFB as well, so that's for ground power. I do have a sim flight plan. Actually, I should go and do that. So we go into OFP. It's a very simple process. Not an overly complicated EFB, but it's certainly functional. Reload. Right, and we go to, once you go back into the aircraft now, it says, do you want to import the payload? We'll say yes. So we can start fueling. I'll just set this, you can set it to realistic if you want, but it can take a little bit of time. So usually I just set this to 10 minutes because that'll give us plenty of time. And then on the passenger side, again, 10 minutes. We'll start that. And actually, I'm going to turn the music down because you'll hear quite shortly that there's a lot of cabin atmosphere sounds to this plane, which is really cool, and a lot of announcements that are made by the cabin crew when you're in different phases of flight, which you're going to see. It's really cool. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best I've seen so far. So you can hear the passengers are now coming on. Nighthawk said Murphy had an aircraft developer on upgrading the aircraft to Microsoft 2024 with all the new stuff is quite the undertaking. I think it would be, yeah. I mean, if you want to take advantage of the new flight model enhancements, then absolutely, that is an upgrade, and probably deserving of some cash to justify it. But there is a legacy mode apparently that will work. I think the problem that developers are having now is anyone that's tried the new flight model with the planes that have been developed for the new flight model, it's really good. Like, super good. So I think there's going to be a lot of thinking about what they want to do, but just wait and find out. Okay. I'm going to have to get some water at one point. So, the ground power is now on, so we can bring that in. You can see a lot of things start coming to life. I'm just going to... So what we can start doing now is we can turn on our avionics and autopilot masters. We don't necessarily need to do any of that yet. We can put brake fans on probably. Actually, we can put on the generators. Yeah, that's fine. This stuff I'm going to leave for the moment, but we can put on the AC pump, I think, or put that to auto. But until we get the engines going, it's not really that important. Nav lights can come on. It's bright and early today, so we don't need anything else really. That's probably fine for there. Air conditioning, all that, we don't really need to worry about that. We don't need the APU yet either. But we will bring on the no smoking sights and arm the cabin emergency lights as passengers are boarding the airplane. We can also bring up our lighting for the overheads. You'll see, well, that kind of brings everything up there. This one actually controls your autopilot panel, which you'll see looks very familiar to another airplane you might know. And then we've got a little lever here we can pull just to get rid of the yoke, so we can see it up ahead of it. Little switch down there that'll bring on our MFDs for the pilot and likewise for the co-pilot. Now, for the nav, the INS, it's actually here. So if you switch it to nav, this is a realistic alignment. It does take a long time, depending on where you are. There's a little hack, though, that they've Just Flight's built in, and all you do is you put it to ATT and back again for both, and what that'll do is it'll reduce the alignment time to 30 seconds. Before I do that, though, I'll just show you what the pause init page looks like before that actually aligns, so you can see what we'll do. Put that in there, and then as soon as the alignment kicks in, you'll actually see that last position disappear completely, and the set will disappear. Remember what I said, 30 seconds, there it goes. In theory. I think I switched that to ATT, did I not? ATT? Maybe I didn't do it quick enough, I don't know, we'll find out. Right, anyways, we'll leave those cooking. You do have all the standard stuff too with this, although you're working off of a much smaller screen. So, and some things are still very much manual. So first, let's go get our METAR. Which is sorry, in the OFP. Go to METAR, and for Paphos currently is 3006, so we can set that here. Oh, actually, we'll go by 1018. That's easier, right? There we go. That's our barometer set. Don't need to do anything right there, so let's get in the flight plan now. If you're using Simbrief, you will need to use the Simbrief downloader to be able to pull in flight plans directly into the sim. There are some. It's a bit fiddly to point it to the right folder, but once you do, the flight plan will come down and you should be good to go. So to get to that, what we go is the index here, flight plans, and you'll actually see that I've got the there's our LCPH to HECA flight plan there, so I can click on that and then activate. You'll see a green light there, just like the Boeing's, very similar but slightly different. We'll clear that, and if we now go to legs, you'll see that our flight plan has actually come in. So for departure, we got departure arrivals up here. We are departing from 11, and it's the one ESRI-1R. Execute that, and then for arrival, we will go with these because I want to demonstrate the ILS capture, which is pretty good. I think it was 5 right, was it not? 5 right, yeah. There is a 105R transition. That's interesting. Wonder where that is. Oh, that's a 10 mile. Okay. Yeah, I think we might do that then. So we'll add that one in. Sorry, just to show you what I'm looking at. So C105R is actually here, which gives us a 10 mile distance. So it gives us a little bit of platform altitude, 2700, before we intercept at the glide path at 7 miles. So that actually might be quite handy. So I think we'll run that in. So yeah, let's take that. We can see what that looks like now. If we go into plan mode down here, and I think we go to legs. There we go, and we should, in theory, be able to step through that. Oh, I think it's got something to do with the fact that your INS needs to be aligned before that kicks in. I find that a little bit curious. I don't, but maybe that's the way it is in the real airplane. So if we go back to, I don't know why that's not aligning though. So the right INS is fine. It's that left one that seems to be a bit funny today for some reason. but I think I might know what has caused the problem there. Because there is a bug that I've come across, which I've spoken to Just Flight about. They think it might be another add-on interfering with this airplane. It was getting an autopilot disconnect. Now, what I didn't check was to see if the nav function was actually, if it had been disengaged somehow, which is very curious now that I look at it. That's what I get for pressing stuff as a ground test. Yeah, there's all sorts of tests you can run up here as well. It's quite cool. I just want to see if there's any. I don't think there's any fuses out. Most of these are not interactive. So, but yeah, we are definitely having problems with that nav. That is very interesting. Might have to reboot this. So I'm going to do that as quick as I can. Sorry, guys. There's just no other way to clear that error. So Just Flight is aware of this problem. Apparently, I'm not the first to report it, but they just don't know which add-ons impacting it. But they can't replicate the problem on their end, so they're basically using a clean sim with nothing else in the community folder apart from the RJ. So that's what they've asked me to do. So I haven't as yet done that. But I shall. So we're just going to quickly jump back here. Apologize for this. Right. Set departure. Paphos. Everything that's fine. If we don't have an INS, then the idle pilot doesn't work. At least I think that's what could be the problem, causing the problem. So it's a very curious issue. But hopefully they figure out what's actually tripping it and either advise people what add-on to avoid or possibly modify the product so it's not not interrupted by that add-on. I'll tell you, the servers seem a lot better today, though. That's a good thing. Okay, let's do this all very quickly. So, bring in our flight plan. That's fine. What I'll do, because we've lost a bit of time here, is I might just do instant, or I'll do 5-minute board. So bring that in. Refueling, yeah, do that in 5 minutes, please. And passengers, do that in 5 minutes. Okay, bring ground power in again. Let's bring our batteries on. Nav light, come on. Wait for the indication for external power. There it is. Bring up our lights. It's really lovely airplane, this. Absolutely stunning. Avionics can come on now. Put that auto. Well, actually, we'll turn all those on. That's fine. Anti-skid. Right. Let's try you again. Let's try and align these. See if it behaves this time. And I have no intentions of pausing the sim, so hopefully that'll make a difference. Alright, bring that down to here. That's all good. Go to actually back to index. Flight plans as before. Bring that in. Activate. Execute. Departure. 11 S31R. Execute. Departure. Arrival. 5 right. 105. Execute. Okay. Right, we do have alignment now. That's good. That is helpful. And now you can see the maps available. So back to where we were before. We're just going to go into legs mode here. We can switch this to plan. And now, you know, just like other airplanes, you can step through. It's a much smaller screen, but essentially the same type of function. And here's where it gets interesting. So we can see that's our final. We have a discontinuity, and then we've got to get to the other side of the runway to come in for runway 5 right. So the question is the best way to do that. Now I did call out a waypoint which I found, which was not that one. Oop. So I'm trying to find out where I think it was this guy here, CA442. So I'm gonna try and bring that in. There's probably more clever ways and more finesse ways to do this, but I think this is just gonna be very straightforward. CA442. And then, oop, wrong thing. All right, step. There we go. That's looking good. So, on the basis that we do that, I'm quite happy now to clear that discontinuity. And what does that look like now? So you can just see up from the top here as we step through it. So it's a bit of a sharp bend, obviously. But coming back onto that's our entry point, transition point for the 05 right ILS approach, that will at least make things a little bit easier for the plane to grab the localizer, and I'm quite happy with that. So go with that. That sounds good. Okay, put on. Right, next thing is performance data. So we just got to wait for everything to finish here. We'll look at our final weights. We do have that in the flight plan, so we can go from that. But in this case, we'll just go back to normal ops. But yeah, you can hear the people, walking, packing stuff, and it's quite cool. And as soon as all that boarding's complete, you'll hear a call out from the cabin crew. Cabin crew atmosphere is pretty good in this. Is there anything else we need on right now? Right, so bring back the no smoking, arm the cabin emergency lights. Oops, sorry, put the wrong thing on. Should be nav. Excuse me.
Boarding is complete.
Thank you very much. And the cabin will actually close the doors for you as well. You don't have to do anything.
Arm doors and cross-check.
Ah, cool. That's really, really neat. So now we need to do our final stuff. So we've got all our final weights. So we got a zero fuel weight of 34.8 it's going to be. So we go back to our knit ref. Here we go. 34.8. Gross weight is automatically calculated, which is saying it's 39.9. Yes, that is accurate. I agree with that. Our cruise altitude today is flight level 310. And our cruise winds going from our flight plan in, which gives us minus 40 on there. Plan field to date will be, I'll just say it's the same with, I'll just put in one reserve. It's probably a little bit higher than that, but that's fine for the moment as far as this page is concerned. Right, we go back to inbox. Now we can look at performance. V speeds. Right, now this is a little bit different. So our gross weight's 39.9, which rounds up to about 40,000. When that is calculated, what actually happens is this little thingy over here updates. So it gives you a reference which is specific to the gross weight of the aircraft. So for us to set our V speed, which right now is empty, we just need to choose what flap departure we want. I think today we'll go with flaps 18. I think that's adequate. If we now see that has now changed our rotate speed to 132. It also sets the indicated airspeed up here to 137, which is technically our V2 speed. However, I am going to set this higher after a few flights, because it just makes things a little bit smoother when you shift over, you hand the airplane over to autopilot, and I'll show you that in a moment. We can turn on the flight directors and the auto throttle at this point. Sorry, the auto throttle won't come on until we start the engines and start the hydraulics, so forgot that. Co-pilot's displays can come up as well. He's just going to see the same thing as us. Okay, we're pretty happy with everything, so we can take this out of plan mode. And it's just now a matter of loading the airplane. Of course, we've got to make sure we've set that properly. So if we go back to OFP page, and that was meant to be LCPH 1018-3006. So 1018-3006. Very good. Right, bring all our lights up again, just in case we get into some clouds. There's switches all over this airplane. Transponder, now transponder's here. So at this point we just want the transponder on, but we also got this really cool thing here, which is a weather radar. And we can put that into standby mode, and you see it's warming up, which is really cool. I love it. It's a fun, very detailed, lovely. It feels nice too, if that makes any sense. It's just a really cool plane. Initial altitude today, we'll set that to let's set that to 9,000. And we'll make adjustments as we go. And we've got climb power, toga power set. Remember that, because we're going to switch it later on. This is very similar to, in a different way, it's a similar process to what we do for the ATR. You have to tell the engine or the airplane what kind of engine management it should be using at specific phases of flight, which is pretty cool. I like that. Alright, so we're going to make sure all those lights are up. They are. These guys are up. That's good. Okay, I think we're almost ready to go. So let's get the seatbelts on. We may or may not get a little announcement there. I can't remember. And we'll put on our beacon just to show you where that is. That is here. And at this point, we will, we've got to turn on the left inner pump for the APU, which is dependent on that pump for fuel. But at that point, we can then hit the start valve, and you'll see that starting to spool up, and you should be able to hear it as well. Oh, there it is. That's the APU there. Pretty cool, huh? So, yeah, that is slowly spooling up. Once the APU is up to enough power, we will get a prompt light to be able to bring in that APU power in. APU power available. There we go. So if you go down to APU Gen, we can click that on. Whoa. Did that hopefully not reset everything? I just clicked one thing too incorrectly there. And you can also bring on the APU Air. And I believe at this point we can now put on the middle three, not the engine pumps, because we've got to start the engines first, but that should now bring hydraulics into the airplane. And you can see that hydraulic stuff is charging now. Quick check up here. Ground ignition, it's A or B. A is for odd days, B for even. Today is the 23rd, so we'll go with A ignition. Everything else I think is okay for the moment. We can turn the screen heating on at this point, even though it's very warm outside, but well, once we get up into the air. And we could probably bring on the packs as well and the fans just to get the, which you'll hear coming into the background now, just to get everyone cooled off. Okay, let's go back to our airplane management here. We can take that ground power off, which I think that does that automatically. I'll click that anyway, but we'll say, yep, please get rid of that. And the add-on that might be causing my problems is probably the pushback thing, but it definitely works as long as you don't pause the sim, so that's what we're going to do. So I'll connect that tug. Our pushback today will be nose to the right. Something like that. Something like that. Should do nicely. And we can make sure our parking brakes are on. If you look down here, you'll see. Yeah, they're definitely on. That's cool. Take your chocks off, please. And just do some final checks. I think everything's good. Right, so the flight deck emergency light should be armed. Fasten seatbelts are already armed, so that's good. Galley doesn't need to come on yet. I think we're ready for engine start, so let's start a pushback. We need to release the parking brake. I don't think, do we have any truck there? No, we don't. So we'll just reset that brake, and yep, here we go. Right, packs can come off. Bring on all of our pumps, and the actual proper sequence to start these engines is 4 through 1. So we start with 4, put on our ignition master, and start. And I'll show you what we need to do next. So at this point, we're going to see the engine 4 starting to spool up, the N2. Once the N2 gets to about 16, 17, that's when you want to bring in the fuel. I just need to bring that back a bit so we can see that fuel switch. Which it's there now, so we just click. There's a little tap there. We just push that to bring that into idle. And that will start the engine. And listen to this. Now, is that an engine noise or is that an engine noise? It's so good. It's just awesome. Okay, that is engine 1 started. We can now head right over to engine 2. And just again, we're just going to repeat this process 3 times. You could turn things on progressively as you're going through the engines, but I think for all intents and purposes, for me, I'll get all the engines started, then we can go and turn on electrics and pumps and things like that. Okay, over 16, so we click that. That should now come to life. There it goes. EGT's live and 1 is live. See if I can get over here nice and quick. Whoop. Yeah, that might be a good view, so let's do that. So wait for that to kick in. That's now set. We can now switch this over to engine 3. Start there. Until that gets to about 16, and then we'll hop over to the window view to see if we can see what it looks like from the passenger side. Click that, there we go, quick hop over, and we can see that starting to spin. That is pretty good. relatively quiet inside the plane. You'd think it'd be a lot louder than that, actually. But okay, here we go. Everything's looking stable there, and we can go to engine 1, which is our last one. Bring the fuel in. Whoop. Nope, don't got not that one. There we go. Awesome. There's Nighthawk up in front of us, pointing at me for some reason. Which runway are you taking off from today, then? It's a showdown. Okay, right. At this point now, we can bring our pumps on. So if you look up, there's engine 2 and engine 3, which supply hydraulic pressure. And if we go down to our generators, we can... Oh, before we do that, though, we need to turn off our ignition system. So we put that to off. Bring that off, and now we can bring in our generators, 1 and 4. We can bring on the engine bleed air as well. We leave the APU on for the time being. And you don't turn that off until after takeoff. So I'll show you that. Now, let's see what else we need. Strobes, don't need those quite yet. Everything else is fine. There's your air conditioning is all set. I don't think we need to make any adjustments there. We will, however, need to put our taxi lights on, so that is one switch down, and we can put on a runway exit lights as well. You'll be able to see that at the front. Obviously, it looks much better at night. And I think we're good to go. Now, if we want to hide this tablet just for the time being, we just click on this little guy down here. Indicated airspeed has reset on me, so we can put on the auto throttle now. And I think what we're going to do is set this to about 160. We did? Yeah, thought maybe we hadn't clicked that yet. Oh, and you can actually set your takeoff trim really easily too by going into this guy here and just clicking on that. That will set your takeoff trim. Just a quick double check to make sure we're happy that, yep, that reflects the gross weight of the airplane. And yeah, everything is already set in here, I think. So I think we're good. Just do a quick check because I can't remember if I set these things. But I must have, so that's fine. Okay, go to our legs page. Take the brakes off. Let's roll out. Oh, wait a minute. I think we're possibly still hooked. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, Nighthawk, if you want to proceed off to across the runway and along to line up for runway 11. There he goes. That nimble little 736 with a beautiful positive rate livery on it. And we'll get a we shall get some good drone footage of Nighthawk taking off as well. Ground handling on the RJ is really, really good, as you would imagine for a small airplane. But it's tight. Feels, I feel like there's been a lot of attention to detail on it by Just Flight. It feels nice and tight, very smooth, very logical, not oversensitive or undersensitive. It just feels just perfect. Really good. Okay, we are going to be entering the runway though, so we need to now get our landing lights and our strobes on, which are up here, not there, there. Just do a quick check, see if anybody's coming. Don't see anything. Just remember, Nighthawk, don't go all the way to the end of the taxiway because it's a dead end. You have to turn off before that. Which I made the mistake of doing the other day when I was exploring the airport. Okay. Oh, I've got an INS out of alignment. Why is that? Oh no. What is this going to cause problems? That's not good. Don't know why that INS is going out. That is very weird. I don't think there's anything we missed here. But what do you do when you have an INS failure? That's the question. Problem is, guys, we may still be able to fly an INS one, but I'm not. I just don't know. So we'll give it a go. If not, I will. Probably better to discontinue the stream because I don't want to. I want to make sure that it's not something I'm doing wrong, which means I have to do a bit more reading, or if it's again. This bug could be related to this bug that I've come across, which is up to me at the moment. They've asked me to try and identify what add-on is actually causing the issue. The other thing on this airplane, the throttle control is so precise. It's you're always fighting to find the right adjustments for things when you're setting the throttle, but on this one you don't. It's every part of the throttle is used, and the engines respond to it really well. Okay, Nighthawk is lining up. I'm just going to get up behind him. You can see here's a warning squiggle here, basically to say, run. Do not go to the end of this taxiway, or you will be at a dead end. Alright, so here we go. We're almost stopped. Whoop. Don't want to overshoot it. Oh. Pull up here and stop, and we'll get the drone footage out, or the drone camera out, so we can watch Nighthawk. That's good. That'll do there. Brakes can come on. Okay, up to you, Nighthawk. Is he rolling? I think so. J-Hog. Morning, gentlemen, says J-Hog. How are you doing, sir? Oh, that seemed very quiet for some reason. Don't know why. It's like a stealth plane. Usually you get a bit of noise there. That's very odd. All sorts of weirdness happening today, isn't it? Okay. Right. So let's sting the cabin crew. This is really cool. Watch this.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
I love that. That is absolutely brilliant. Anything else that we need to worry about? No, I think we can put our engine ignition on continuous, just in case we have any problems, and we don't need engine anti-ice at the moment. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me know. Ice detection too. This is very important. Make sure we have that turned on as well. Otherwise, the airplane will not know if it's being iced. And I think that should be us. We do have, like I said, that INS2 is faulting. Oh, config check. We're going to get a horn. Why is that? Because we've not set our flaps to takeoff position. So let's get those done. Don't know if you can see those deploying there. Very cool. Very detailed. Look at that. You get quite a bit of deflection. That's a 18-degree deflection off the wing. And these airplanes can actually take off with almost full flaps or possibly full flaps. I can't remember. So very short runways if you want. But in this case, we're just going to use first stage of flaps, which is 18 degrees. We can get the landing lights on. I think we already have those on, don't we? Yep. Oh, the galley can put some galley power to the galley on. And I think we're good to go. So we'll do a quick config check. Again, the brakes are off. No horn. That means the plane is happy to go. And it's just a matter of lighting up and taking off. But see, if I make slight adjustments to the throttle, you can hear. Listen. There's so much precision on this plane. It's really, really good. Okay. There is a toga click spot up here as well somewhere. I think it's there. It's very similar to the PMDG, but I do have this bound to a key as well. So I'm just going to do that. So we're going to start. 50% power. And toga.
Check thrust. Airspeed alive. Thrust set. $80 knots.
Continue.
Go. Rotate.
Rotating.
Positive climb.
You're up.
Gear up select.
She is like a rocket. This is where things get a little bit interesting. So what we're going to do is we'll bring in the LNAV and the iPilot. Level change is what I selected there. I suspect this is what the real airplane does, but the throttle just cuts out. And again, this is because it's a retrograded FADEC. So, right, I'm just going to bring those engine noises down a bit because it's a bit loud. But yeah, it is a really cool plane. Absolutely love it. Okay, first turn's coming up. And there she goes. Sounds on this are amazing. Yeah, it is. It's a beast of a plane. Okay, everything seems to be going on right now. You'll see that there's going to be an overcorrection now because the airplane's going to try and get back on to the path. Now, we can let it do that, or what we can do is we can just bring Esri back in again and execute. And what that'll do is it just tells the plane, just fly direct to Esri. Don't try and get back on the path. You're close enough. Just reduces a bit of unnecessary navigation. Now, if it was a busy airport, you might not want to do that because air traffic control will expect you to fly the air routes as precisely as possible on departure. But in this case, we're out in Paphos. There's no traffic around us, so that's fine. And it's only going to give us a deviation of maybe half a mile as we get closer to Esri, so yeah, it's good. Now, even though we have that failure, the autopilot seems to be holding its own, so I'm all right, but happy at the moment. See, INS1 is working, but you can see on the co-pilot side, he's got nothing. So again, I'll need to go and do some reading. It might be something that I've done wrong, but what we can do is we'll just go through the panel and see if there's anything I missed. Anything that's off that should be on. So, can't see anything there. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's good. That's all on. That's where that should be. That's fine. Start master is off, which is what it would want. That's alright. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're now approaching 9,000. So now, one thing I missed here. But we'll do this on the next thing. So we had this in toggle mode. We could have actually switched this a bit earlier. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to set this to our cruising altitude, 310. And down here, I'm going to switch this to climb mode. And that is now going to tell the plane, calm down. I want you to climb to your next altitude, but just don't try and throw everything at it. And that really helps with the fuel efficiency of the RJ. We are coming up 10,000 feet. I'm happy for the Pretty cool. That's the detail, eh? So it basically said, yeah, cabin crew, you can start moving around. Can turn the lights on, or lights off, I should say. Those can come off. Oh no, wrong thing. Those runway exit lights can come off. I will leave the seatbelts on just a little bit longer. I take them off at transition altitude, which is about 18,000 feet. So Jayhawk, how are you? Are you getting dragged out shopping today? While we're here, we can I'll show you some of the other things on the tablet. So you've got obviously the METAR. We can see what our destination data will be. I don't know if you can set that in here though. Approach. Oh yeah, there's approach information. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. Now, we do need to make note of the ILS frequency. There's 1089, so very similar to the PMDG 737. What did I say that was? 1089.
Quiet! Make him lose his focus! Oh no! Sorry! Shut up!
Hey, it's Dark Fury. How are you doing, Dark? Great to see you, mate. So 189. And we'll set that on both sides in our backup frequencies. That was what we'll be using for the ILS. And the course, does it give us the course? That's the question. Front course will be 44 degrees, so we can set that in here. You're soaked. Yeah, I got drenched by snow. Dark. It was absolutely heaving down snow today. And I walked the dog about 2 miles in it. So yeah, I had my thick coat on. I wasn't too wet underneath, but my legs were absolutely drenched. Off to make copy? Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do a music cruise once we get up there. Just going to keep an eye on this for the moment. So, climb performance in the RJ. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad. 1,400 feet. But again, similar to the ATR, the point of this is to try and save fuel as well. Right, so that's good. That will put us on track for our ILS approach. I don't think VREF for us, I mean, it mentions 121 there. This is a rather weird one. I'm probably going to use full flaps today, so it'll just be 123 because we can go buy this placard. And as long as we don't have another INS failure, we should be great. Snow, yeah, we got tons of snow. It is supposed to start raining today at some point, but I'll try and get a quick picture. I'll share it up on the stream. But yeah, it was really heavy, and there's been no snow plows here at all, so the roads are just a complete mess. I was supposed to drive my daughter to work this morning. I just said, nah. I said, your job's not worth trying to go on this. Until they get the plows out, we're not going anywhere. So she's sitting downstairs, chilling out, watching the movie. Oops, excuse me. Okay, passing 15,000. Oh, INS Mach. Sorry. Missing things left and right. So what we can do, if we keep this in level change, we actually want to set this to, this is why we're going a bit on the slow side. Oh, flaps up? Haven't raised my flaps either. Just as well, we're going 160 knots. Too much talking, not enough flying. Okay, so we can now bring this up to 280. There we go. A few things out of sequence there, but never mind. And very similar to VNAV on modern airliners, what the level change mode will do is it'll lower the nose, allow the airplane to increase to the indicated speed, and then bring up the vertical rate to maintain that speed as best it can. It's pretty much exactly the same way the VNAV works. It's just a bit more manual because obviously you need to set the indicator speed, and you have to do that at various stages, whereas the VNAV will just look at your flight plan and do it for you. That's pretty much all it does. Bring some music in there. Right, I think we can bring the seatbelts off. Listen to this. Seatbelts come off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. You are free to move about the cabin.
Very cool. Love that. Okay, we're almost at 280 now. And now you'll see that vertical rate starting to increase. Let's see what kind of rate we can get. 16 so far. 1,600 feet per minute. I'll take that. And up she goes. We are just about our transition altitude, so at this point I'm going to switch that back to standard, which is 1013-2992, just in case you're not sure what standard is. And so far so good. Oof, loud. She's not the most quiet thing in the world. But then most airliners around that era weren't anyway. Could probably extend the range out a bit here. Okay, there's actually giving you a top of climb prediction as well, which is pretty cool. Cruising speed of the RJ is Mach 0.7. So it is a little bit slower than, say, an Airbus 320 or a 737. Which, as a regional jet, doesn't make a huge dent on flight times. But it is a little bit slower. But significantly faster than a turboprop. Okay, I think we're good to go. Right, I'll be right back with you guys. So just gonna grab a coffee. Keep an eye on the airplane for me, would you, Dart? Right back with you guys. How we doing? Well, 23,000. That's quick. It's not bad. We're still maintaining, we are slowing down though as we get higher. That's to be expected, 1,100 feet per minute. So it does kind of crawl its way up to its cruising altitude. WB, weight balance? Yeah. Is that what you're talking about, Jayhawk? Don't speak in acronyms. I get enough of them at work. Or welcome back. Welcome back, that's what it was. Oh man, this contract I'm currently on that's constantly, hey, have you checked the QFR with the QAD and what? Cool. Speak English. Yeah, so we got some good news today as well. Lots to talk about. I imagine this is going to generate quite a bit of discussion, but let me know on your thoughts. I mean, how has it gone for you this week? Has anybody had a successful trial yet of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? I had a brilliant flight. The one good flight that I really had was a Cessna 172. Took off from Edinburgh, just flew around, looked at the scenery, looked amazing. Definitely, there's more of a warmth to it. The light bloom, the lights look a lot better, a lot more intense, which I really like. And the flight model is definitely noticeably improved. It's a lot more dynamic. The ground handling seems better. The transition from air to ground seems a lot more accurate now. It's really, really good. I think once they get all the problems worked out, and I've got a theory on what you might be able to do with 2024, which they're not talking about yet because currently the marketplace is disabled for reasons unknown. But once that marketplace is enabled, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised by the options that they will have available to them. I don't think you're going to have to stream everything. At least we hope not. That's right, tuning around through. Putting sleep in the doghouse here. Ninehawks, it's mind-boggling how much of a roller coaster people's experiences are. Perfect flights from able to load. Yeah, it's just server timing and server loads, and I mean that's the one thing you can't do anything about. You know, if the server's choked, the server's choked. Dark says it's more of a beta sim, not a full release. Yeah, it is. I do agree. I do agree, and some of the default planes I've tried are exhibiting very strange behaviors at times. Although A330 driver had a lot of positive things to say about the inbuilt A330 though. He quite liked it. There was some functions in there he didn't expect to find that were built in. He was quite happy with it. But there's just some weird things that happen, like if you, on the more complex stuff, if you shift to the walk around mode, and that, oh god, that just drives me up the wall, by the way. The default start state for, they've got to give you an option to go straight to the cockpit. That is just annoying. I don't want to have to walk around and take stuff off the plane. If I did that, I'd become a real pilot. I get why I like that they've made that like giving you the ability to do that, but it shouldn't be a mandatory thing. I think it's just something that drives me a bit nuts. The servers were tested for 200,000, I know. Yeah, what bright mind came up with that? Sounds a little bit low for me. Okay, we are getting a little bit closer. Just do a quick check. I don't think there's anything we need to change up here. We can take that engine ignition off, but don't need that anymore. And that's your pressurization panel there, so you can see that the pressurization in the cabin is at 5,500 feet, which is pretty decent actually. Although I would think that would be in line with the Airbus 320 and the 737. Oh, the APU can also come off as well. I forgot to turn off. So we could have done that actually once we started our climb. So take off the APU air and APU generator and turn off the APU. And that'll give us a warning light. No, it's disappeared. That's fine. Any warnings, if you're flashing up here, you're looking here to see what's lit, and then I'll tell you if there's a problem. I don't know why that INS is filled. That's really weird. Just say fix all. I don't know if that'll do anything, because I don't think anything's actually failed. Is there actually one for INS? This is Tippy. Good morning. Okay, there's our warning horn. We are approaching 31,000 feet. Now you can see that the airplane speed mode has switched automatically into Mach. That's fine. Once we settle in and flatten out, we'll increase that to 0.7. And then we'll do some news. Right, I'll look at that in a minute. Let's get this over and done with first. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You had a chance, we were just talking about 2024. I was saying if I've only really had one reasonably good flight in it, where there wasn't a problem like the scenery not loading, I think, but constantly getting server warnings. And even in 2020, during the week, I was getting server warnings. Luckily, it doesn't seem to be any problems right now, but I really was open to the idea of potentially streaming 2024 today, but I wanted to show off the RJ, and it was just too unstable, and there's no point. I mean, bless all the guys like T-Tone and all the rest that have just gone for it, but unfortunately my internet connection isn't fantastic, and it seems to be a lot more sensitive to the problems we're having, so I didn't see the point, unfortunately. But we'll keep an eye on it, and if it gets better, we might be doing our next flight in 2024 next week. Because it is, once it's working, when it's working, it's lovely. It really is lovely. Okay, we're at 3,100 or 31,000, so we can now inch that up to 0.7. See it climbing there, and that gives us an indicated target of approximately 258. And that's about as fast as we're going to go. RJ. Nighthawk says, I think 2020 will be better for streaming for a while. Yeah. I mean, part of the reason is, and we'll get into this in the news, I don't think the add-ons are going to come over as quick as people are hoping. Not everyone, anyway. And certainly they're not going to take advantage of the new flight dynamics, which once you've actually tried the new flight dynamics, you thought, well, yeah, but if it supports Legacy, I'll be fine, I'll be happy with that. But I'll tell you what, once you try playing with the new flight dynamics, you're like, oh man, but I do really want this. So I actually could see value in paying a bit of money for an upgraded version to take advantage of the new flight dynamics, because it is such a difference, major difference. You can use the 2020 keyboard in 2024. 2020 keyboard, what does that mean? I mean the control, all the key bindings, oh my god, like everything. T-Tone, I was laughing because he had it right. He says, like, you think they're sitting, as T-Tone goes, he says, you think they were sitting around the water cooler, and he says, hey Dave, I got an idea. He says, see, for this version of Flight Sim, why don't we change all the key bindings and We'll also change the names of the key bindings and hide them somewhere in the settings, so people have to go and look for them and not actually realize what they're looking for. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Because, I mean, once you got into the 7, it was like, I can't do anything. I mean, even, like, everything is, I mean, God, it's change for change's sake, isn't it? It's little things like that. And the fact that if you start out, it starts out at the walk around mode, you got to take all your crap off the airplane, and it's, I mean, it took me ages because it's not obvious. This is the other problem. To get into the cockpit, it took me 10 minutes. And the only reason I was able to get in the cockpit is because I Googled it, and someone said just hit Shift C. Which, by the way, sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work, depending on depending on when you've loaded in, if there's not been a bug. Because I have actually loaded into a flight and hit Shift C, and nothing happened. So, and then, going back out, come back in, and then it worked. But then coming back out to when you exit a flight, for every 1 out of every 3 times I exit a flight, the whole sim locks completely on the flight selection screen, and you can't do anything, and you have to use Task Manager to close it. It just locks solid. I don't know if that's server problems. I don't know if it's something else, but I mean it was got to the point where I was just like, okay, you know what, I'll come back to this another time. So yeah, still a lot of issues to work out, I think. Right, we're keeping an eye on top of the descent here. If we look at and we got a direct approach, so that's fine. In terms of 2,700 feet at CO105. So you want to be 092 seems a little bit high there. I think I'd like to be at 8,000. That seems a little bit far out. So whether that does anything to our top of descent, I don't know. I think it did. It looks like it recalculated, so I would expect that to probably push back just a little bit. And then we're going to use vertical speed to descent, because it is the easiest way to using the MFD. It's the easiest way to predict your descent path, and actually, more or less, you become a manual VNAV. You're on Xbox, Miss Tippy. Okay, right. 2 flights yesterday in 2024. Still trying to get used to it, and still working on your bindings. Yeah, I spent a good hour on my on bindings. I mean, there was ways they said you could bring over your settings using a tool or something like that. I thought, no, for the heck of it, I'll just go through it all again. And I'm almost there. I think I've pretty much got about everything set up the way I like it. But a lot of it was just changing things back to 2020 keyboard bindings anyway. Yeah, I don't know. They just like it's just like poking a bear, I don't know why they changed it. Some guy is like, I don't feel like I'm really doing anything. So okay, how about you just change all the key bindings? And, oh, okay, we'll do that. You can't bring the tool over the X. No, it'll be PC only, unfortunately. Yeah. So what kind of curiosity, which Xbox are you using, Mrs. Tippy? Is that the S or the X? Or are you doing it through cloud on something else? Okay. You can see Egypt starting to appear in the distance. Oh, we didn't do news yet, have we? We better do it now. X. Oh yeah, I've got a Series X myself. Okay. Yeah, let's bring the sim noises down, and we'll get straight into the news, guys. Here we go. we are going to run through this a little bit. DC Designs has updated their Concorde. They have done a little bit of rebuild of the textures, which is now version 1.0.7. So if you have that, go and get it. And they have done some upgrades where you can choose between an FMC or the Civic INS, which is really neat. List of some of the things they've done. I think it just looks like a general visual upgrade as well. So yeah, if you are an owner of the Concorde, that's probably great news for you. Flight Sim Studio G has announced an update for their B727-200 oil spill response variant. I guess that's a livery, or as opposed to a model, I'm not sure. And the 0G, that's pretty cool. So that's where they do, 0G training for astronauts and things like that. And they're also working on completing the GNS XLS. I guess this would have been a retrofit for a lot of 727s. They have said that currently it is not compatible 2024. They are looking into it, but they have no news yet as to when this is going to get ported over to the new simulator. UK2000 has released Sherburne and Elmet for Microsoft 2020 and 2024. So this is one of the first bits of scenery coming already in 2024. It's €7.99, which seems relatively inexpensive. And just to give you an idea what that looks like, there you go. FS Dream Team Up has updated GSX Pro for the A380. Wow, can you imagine what that looks like? If you've got GSX Pro and you got the A380, go and do some video footage for me so I can actually see what it looks like. If you can actually get all the passengers going up. If they go up the steps, that'd be really cool. That'd be interesting. Because they tend to board the upper deck first, don't they? So yeah, I'd be really interested to see what that looks like, but that's good news for any lovers of the fly-by-wire 380. And what was this one? Sorry. Top features of I think this was just someone rambling on about what they like. I'm not going to go through that. I'm sure everyone's got their own version of that. This is cool though. Freeware Fokker 27 has been released. It's a developer called Bergarant, and it's his second release after an airport add-on he's done, and this is his first aircraft release, but it's looking pretty good from the outside anyway. It's got two cockpit configurations, which is really neat, and here's a nice little shot, but it's looking pretty good, and it's free. You can get that from, where can you get that though? Currently, I think it's on the Discord. Sure. Oh, flightsim.to. There you go. Yeah. So that is Bergarant Fokker 27. PMDG. Surprise, surprise. They have said their airplanes are not directly compatible with 2024 as yet. They are looking at trying to get it over as quickly as possible. There are changes they need to make. They will be offering a free upgrade, which is just simply cross-compatibility, what they're calling. Sorry, not an upgrade, a cross-compatibility version. But it looks like they are looking at providing modestly priced upgrades. Specifically, they're going to look at this for the 737 in the first instance to bring in the new flight dynamics model in 2024 to the PMDG 737. They've also announced that their upcoming 747-400 and their 747 Classic will only now be developed for 2024, so you will not be able to get these in 2020, guys, which does kind of make a bit of sense, since they'd be going for building for a retrospective version. But rest assured, the 777 will be coming over. They just don't know when it's going to happen, and they don't know if there's going to be an upgrade price, or if so, how much that. An unpainted, undetailed model. The EFB's looking pretty cool, though. If that all works, wow. That's probably the biggest, most thorough EFB I've ever seen. And there's just a few samples of their MFD screens that they're developing, so that's all looking pretty good. And if you're an X-Wing fan and you want the Max, then this is probably really good news for you. Finally, 2024 compatibility. This PMS50 has announced that I think, from what they're saying, it's already ready to go. You can just port, or the version 20 will work in, or sorry, the GTN 750 will work already in 2024, or at least there's a download that you can get. However, you can only use it in one sim at a time, so you're not going to be able to have 2020 and 2024 and be able to use it in either one. You're going to have to deactivate the license for 2020 and reactivate it for 2024 through the website if you want to change it over. So just bear that in mind if you are a user of the GTN 750. Of course, we give a huge shout out to Pierre and the team at PMS50 for supporting us, and it's great news that they're already coming over for 2024. So there you go, and that was the news, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Excuse me. Okay, back in the flight. Top descent is getting a little bit closer. Let's bring our range down a bit. Bring it to 40. That's where I like to keep an eye on the top of the sun. We're just about to turn as well. Look at that. Look, some nice views of the Egyptian coast out there. That's lovely. Very flat, Egypt, for most part. It's a very, very flat place. I think there are some mountains in parts of it. But so it does beg the question, Mississippi, if you have an X, what are some of the things that you like to do on the X? Because obviously I think flight simulator is just one thing. And great to see Dark Fury today as well. I haven't seen you in a while, mate. I hope you're doing okay. It's great for you to come along to do things. You'll be happy to know that, although you can't see it, Nighthawk is currently sporting that amazing 737 livery right now. Where is Nighthawk? Actually, I can see. Oh, lost Nighthawk. I don't know where he is. Well, it's either a bug or something else. But we still got one good INS, so that is what I'm primarily concerned about at the moment. Oh yeah, I was looking for fix all. Just see if we can rotate that one more time. Although, if it's not aligned on the ground, it shouldn't really, in theory, align in the air. You're descending over Cairo. Okay. Top descent's approaching. Yeah, there's no failure showing here. No, I think I'm chasing down a red herring there. Okay, so we are going to use full flaps today, which will give us a VREF 119, so we'll put about 123, 124 on it. And if we check there, you can see that that's coming. You don't want to get too quick though, because this plane does like the float, I've noticed. Its ground effect is quite pronounced. So yeah, just be wary of that if you decide to get it. But believe me, it's worth. It's absolutely fantastic airplane once you get to know it. It's a little bit daunting at first. There is a very detailed manual. Also, there's some brilliant tutorials available by British Gavgeek, which can really help you out as well. Sorry, you missed my question. No, I was just wondering on the Xbox, is there any other games that you like to play? Just trying to get to know you better. Okay. Top descent is now approximately 25 miles. So we are going to drop this to our platform altitude, which I believe, or sorry, what was our initial catch point? 8,000 feet at CA442. So that's what I think that's the first one we'll use. Excuse me. So we'll drop that to 8,000 feet. Uh-oh. Did you guys lose me? Am I still online? I just got a disconnect warning from OBS. Let me know if you can hear me. It went quiet for a minute. Okay. Looks like it's recovered. 1, 2, 3. Stream paused for a bit. Okay, yeah, OBS, I got a disconnect warning, but it seemed like it just recovered, so that's good. Gotta love OBS. When I used to use, was it Streamlabs? I can't remember. The other one, anyway. It was so. If it timed out or disconnected, that was it. Stream over. You had to restart everything. OBS just kind of sorts itself. It's like, yeah, I got it covered. Don't worry, I got it covered. So that's good. I'm glad of that. Right, where were we? Top of descent. Yeah, that didn't distract me too long. Okay, so. Just about there. Still 10 miles away, so we'll wait. Someone's dinging. Actually, I'll let cabin crew that we're going to be descending shortly. Guess they want to start cleaning. And just wait for that top descent to get a little bit closer when we get things going. We've still got about, fuel-wise, we've got a slight imbalance there. I can fix that, but the imbalance isn't heavy, so I'm probably going to leave it. And because we're going into descent, it's going to be very difficult to fix that in time for landing. So had I noticed that earlier, I could have showed you what to do, but I could talk you through it. Essentially, very similar. You turn on your, like, not that one. Sorry, your crossfeed. You open your crossfeed valve. Turn off the pump for the tank that has less fuel in it, and then that will siphon fuel from the other tank, and then once that's done, you turn everything back on and close the crossfeed. So it's very easy to fix, but you do tend to get imbalances. And obviously it'll be more pronounced with 4 engines instead of 4. So okay, we missed our top of descent. So let's get going. Vertical speed. And we're gonna start, we'll start out at a paltry 2,000 feet. And what we'll do is we'll see where that kind of projects us. So if we extend our range out here, 442, that's where we want to get to. It's not quite straight on, but not far away from it. So, and you can see that we need to hit 442 at 8,000 feet. That's not anywhere close. We're going to have to bring that up a little bit more. We just want to see that come out, the projection line come just below. Hopefully you can see that there. Increasing to 2,400 now. We do need to keep an eye on our speeds up above as well. And 2,500, which looks like that should help us. Once we get down into thicker air, we're going to have to do some manual braking because obviously the plane is really struggling to maintain speed at the moment. And I can do that. I've actually got an access available on my air brakes, which have very settings from very subtle to wide open, and it just gives us a little bit of extra drag to slow the plane down. We can now set that. I think we're going to speed mode there, so let's set that at 280. It's completely acceptable. We'll fold up those brakes again. Yeah, let's see if it can maintain it. As we get descend into thicker air, the drag should help the plane a bit, and we don't have to brake as much. So that is looking okay so far. Metar. Cairo today is going to be 10/18/306, so pretty much the same as Paphos. And we can't change that yet, but once we get below 18,000 feet, we'll change it there. And at the moment, we want to be at 8,000 at 442. That's looking all right. But there will probably be a bit of a sharp descent once we make that turn and intercept. So what I'll probably do at 442 is go into heading mode, and then we'll bring it around and bring the LNAV back in to intercept 105R. Once we're comfortable that we've got the airplane under control and we're on our way to a good altitude. ILS capture on this airplane is extraordinarily good. Really, really good. It's your backup alternatives now. So what I'll do is I'll set that to 10/18/30006 so I remember what to set this one up. Oh no, they're synced. Alright, that didn't help. I'll just leave it. It's fine. It's going to be at 18,000 pretty soon anyway. Okay. Let's bring that range down a bit. I can't see what's going on. It's a bit of a mess. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, we are getting closer. We will actually be, the airport should be right below us. And Nighthawk, you've completely disappeared. I'm going to blame the servers again. That is so annoying. And I hope this is something that goes away in 2024, because, man, it's so frustrating when you can't see your friends. Because if you can't fly with friends, then what's the point in flying? That's what I think. Okay, seatbelts can come on. Should get an announcement from the cabin crew.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched on fasten seatbelts on. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
Very good. Love it. Awesome. And we've even got a take your seats for landing queue on here as well, which you can trigger yourself. So all these, a lot of these things, you can. There is a manual trigger for it, but the cabin crew will generally do it for you. I think you can turn it off. I think you can make it completely manual, but I haven't looked into it. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be doing it in real life anyway. So that's why you got cabin crew. So I'm quite happy for them to just carry on and do their job for me. Good morning, Mr. Tibby. How are you? Did you just drag yourself out of bed? Oh, and I just saw your response, Ms. Tippy. You only do it for the sim. Okay, fair enough. So you're a die-hard flight simmer like all of us. Okay. Drop our range a bit. We are looking really good. Like we're going to hit 8,000 pretty much bang on at CA 042. So I'm really happy with the descent. And so far the plane's holding its speed very well. Now we will have to drop to 250 at 10,000 shortly. But we're going to use braking to get that done as quick as possible, so that we can continue our descent. But at the moment, as I said, the thicker air is really helping. We're projecting 8,000 before we hit that, so that's good. You've been up for a bit, but now you have time to sit and have a coffee and watch the stream. I am absolutely delighted that you've joined us. Thank you for coming along. on point. I've got so we'll be on Sky Blue Radio tomorrow at 1400 Zulu. That's 9 a.m. Eastern. And joining me tomorrow is a guy, Brent from Skytation, which is a brand new company based in North America that builds flight yokes. He builds flight yokes, and he's only just started out. So yeah, it's well worth listening to him. And but he's an absolute lovely guy. So yeah, please tune tomorrow. I mean, he's picked off some good classic rock tunes to play as well. So it should be a good set tomorrow. If you're into your classic rock, you'll definitely like tomorrow's show. As the guests always set the theme. I just follow along. Okay, 12,000 feet. Probably drop that rate of spin just a little bit. Let's bring it back to 2,300. Once we get to 10, we will drop our speed to 250. Actually, 240 was recommended. Better bring our landing lights on. But yeah, this for the most part, this plane just does what you tell it to do. It's a very well behaved, relatively easy to fly airplane. Apart from it's just getting used to all this stuff. But once you get used to that, it's a piece of cake, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so we're gonna bring our speed down to 250 now, and we'll bring out some braking just to help that along. Those brakes work. The one thing about the, by the way, the 146 and the RJ, no reverse thrust on this. You're completely dependent on the spoilers and your wheel brakes, which is why it's good to always have that fan on. But this, the airplane is designed to do that. It's designed to have very robust braking. Okay, that is fine. We can now put those brakes back in. And again, that just to make sure that we stay pace. Okay, we're going to drop that now to 2,700. And once again, we'll do an evaluation of, whoop, not that steep, guys. 2,700, which is our platform altitude. And actually, at the moment, I was going to put it on heading mode, but I think I'll just leave it where it is. Okay, we need more braking. More braking, please. Drop that to 190. And what I'll do is I'll just do my little trick there, bring that back in, just to give us a bit more of a proper intercept on that, rather than having to weave and bob around. Our descent rate is far too ambitious, so we can drop that off a bit. And so I'm just slowly backing off that vertical speed until it gives us something a little bit closer, just so the plane is not having to struggle to control its speed. Oop, maybe a bit too much. About minus 1,300, let the plane stabilize a bit. I think that'll be absolutely fine. And we can also arm the localizer, if that will come on. Oh, we got to, so we'll bring in our backup frequencies now is 108.9 for ILS. See if we do have indication on there. We can now arm the localizer. So once we get on beam to that, the plane will automatically turn and start flying towards runway 5 right. I'm wearing the wrong hat again. Oh yeah. I'm trying to find my. I got a really thick Blue Jays hat, which I could have done with today because it was snowing. It was snowing as I was walking the dog, and it's disappeared. I can't find it. My Willy Canuck hat's kind of. I think it needs a bit of a clean, so I didn't wear that because I look a bit ragtaggy. Okay, brakes can go back in again. The spoilers will deploy automatically as well. There's a thing up here. If I just show, yeah, auto spoiler. You see that? If that is on, it will automatically deploy the spoilers when you land, which is pretty cool. Okay, we are down to about 200, so I'm going to drop the flaps to 18 just to give us a bit more drag. And you can see that starting to transition there, and you can also hear them. And it's just going to help us get the plane down to speed. Apart from that, seems like we're on track to hit 2700 at C105 FR, which is what I wanted. Actually, we're supposed to be 2700 above, aren't we? So let's drop that or back off that vertical speed a little bit more. Quite that much. That's probably good. We're getting a bit of turbulence, so it's it's not giving you a true reading of where that is. But I think that should be fine. It's all right. And the runway should be over here somewhere. Your 146 is still not come over from 2020. All right. Do you have the 146? Do you? Go Leafs, go. Yeah. That's Leafs are doing a lot better than the Canadians. Who won the Stanley Cup this year? I didn't actually see. They're definitely getting a lot of buffeting here. Now you can see the city of Cairo showing up below us now. There's pyramids! Hey! Giza. Very cool. Okay. Watching that localizer. Let's see if it's getting any closer. It should be coming in a minute. The plane is flying on INS at the moment, but once it hits that localizer, and we get a localizer indication, it'll ignore the navigation completely. Okay, nothing yet. So the plane is currently turning. Oh, localizer's alive. I think he called for gear. I don't know why. But we'll drop it. There you go, there you go. Get a good look at that. Kaleidoscope is now taking command of the plane. Wheel of Doom. Oh, right. On my back. Oh, good. Oh, there's Nighthawk anyway. That seems to fix something. Okay, that was good. We'll bring out another stage of flaps. Bring our throttle back even more, 140. I can definitely see that I've got reconnects and disconnects here, guys. Okay, I'll just keep going. See what happens. Okay, final stage of flaps. And our approach speed of, let's go 122. And alert cabin.
Come on now, please take a seat for landing.
Awesome. I did exactly what I wanted to. It's a little bit hazy today, isn't it?
Cabin is secured for arrival.
Where's this runway? Oh, look at the haze. Wow. That's hazy. Hazy, hazy, hazy. It must be smog. That's all I can think. Or it could be a sandstorm. Oh, got visual. Thank God for ILS. It's quite the trek to the terminal. Yeah, I bet it will be.
500.
Okay, with control. Now that I have visual, I'm happy to land it. According to Vassian, very high, so I think that RLS is slightly uncalibrated. I am now finding a lot of these airports can be very interesting. Okay, now a little bit below. Okay, trying to get that center line back there. Here we go.
Air brakes out.
Starting to send. There they see the air brakes out. They do that before you land. That's interesting, eh?
50. 40. 30. 20.
And there's that float, that ground effect I was talking about. It's still in the air, but we've got plenty of runway, so.
Ground idle. Spoilers, yellow, green.
Oh. Yeah. Full spoilers, please. See what I mean by floating?
Brake pressure checked.
Ground effect is absolutely nuts. Okay, put some manual braking in now.
60 knots.
That's good, and we should be able to get that exit lane. To slow down, yeah, there's no reverse thrust, so it's pretty much braking and air braking and wheel braking. That's all you got. All right. Let's we'll bring the flaps in now. We might even hear some approach music as we come in here. I didn't hear the music when I loaded the last time. Hopefully it comes in this time. Right. Airport map. Where are we? Anyway, let's get configured so we can go. Oh, we should brought the AP on actually as well. So bring that to taxi. Strobe can come off. That's probably it for the moment. Oh, there you go. You can just hear it faintly. That's that music's actually coming from the cabin. Isn't that cool? So once you get on the ground, electrical, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was gonna look at a map, wasn't I? Where am I? Oh, right. What have I come in? 5, right. Okay, I think I need to backtrack, do I? My navigaph is disconnected, so I can't even see where I am on the map. Ah, pants. Which way do I go? I'm not sure, guys. Am I lost? I think I should have gone back. I'm not sure. All right, let's tool around. This sucks. Even the Cessna 172, the mission's coming in for a landing. 80 knot full flaps, stays at 80 all the way down the runway, does it? Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, I definitely went the wrong direction. That's fine. We'll just backtrack on the runway. Okay, now what are we looking for? That's the question. Presumably be back this way somewhere, though. Well, mind you, if I go to the end of this, I can probably just head off straight that way. That might be easier. No, I think I want to keep going this way, don't I? This is a... Yeah, you're talking about long trek. You're absolutely spot on, guys. This is really long. Oh, turn. Not paying attention. Okay, so I basically go to the end of this and straight over. That's fine. Just cut right across the field. Oh, I can't do that. What do you think I am? One of these punks that buzzes around in a fighter jet? No offense. I told hubby you wouldn't? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I won't do that. You certainly would, yeah. I bet. You'd probably just take off again and kind of try and drop your plane right on the tarmac. It is hazy. I'm putting the strobes back on. Man, if that's it's either a dust storm or it's just smog. Look at it. Wow. That's not great. Absolutely. Oh, man. Just while I got the elevator music playing. British Afghan, he's doing a 380 test flight, oh, is he? See, I take it is the 380 actually been made compatible there, or are people just trying to port it over themselves? Oh my god, does it ever end? Finally. From what you've heard, the fly-by-wires... Oh, they both work in 2024, do they? Oh. Interesting. Well, it'd be better than the 320 from Inabuilds, because that thing was doing some weird stuff. All the default plane stuff, the more complex one I've tried some more, there's all sorts of issues with them. They're flyable, but there's just weird things that happen. Why is it signed me out? Navigraph. Bad Navigraph. Bad. Naughty, naughty. That's why I couldn't see where I was, because Navigraph had decided to sign me out, just for the heck of it. Is there a storm in the UK? Well, we've had quite a bit of snow this morning. The heads of Microsoft Flight Simulator, Microsoft 2020 for the win. Hey Tim, how you doing? Heads of Microsoft Flight Simulator way underestimated the time it would take developers to make their planes native. Well, they never had any warning. I mean, I had Martin on the Martin Northall on the Skyblue Radio about 3 weeks ago, and they'd literally only just received the dev kit like a week prior to that. So they've only actually had the dev kit for just under a month, or just over a month, which is crazy. So there was no way that they were going to have anything ready for launch day. And to be fair, was there any point? Because it was such a freaking fiasco. Yeah, we're flying the Tim. We're flying the RJ today. There he is. It's pretty sweet. She's a lot of fun, Tim. I think you'd like this one actually. Tim says they need to give us the option to store more data on the PC, stable performance and graphics for it. Yeah, I see. I think they're going to, because when I'm looking at the way that the marketplace, you can't do anything in the marketplace yet, but the way that they've designed it, there's a more options thing at the bottom, and I think what it's going to do is give you the ability to either leave something on streaming or actually force it to download to your hard drive. So if that's the case, fantastic, because that means you can pretty much configure all the content that you want to be locally stored to do that, and then you'll actually have better performance than Microsoft 2020, because the multi-threading does work. When it's working, man, that thing is smooth as anything. What's causing the problems right now is all the downloading, which you can't get completely rid of, but it'll increase. Yeah, well, I think so, and it's going to be a lot less expensive for them as well. I mean, I don't know why they want everything on cloud. I'd just be happy with a flight simulator version that's multi-threading, and obviously has all the rewritten, improved code and the better visuals. You know, it's a great, potentially a fantastic sim once they get everything working properly. But for me, I'm on like a relatively crappy internet connection. I just can't be dependent on streaming. Just not going to work for me. Missed my turn. Okay, taxi lights can come off. Oh, strobe can come off as well. I'm sure they can see me. And we don't need a gate, but we'll park at one. Okay, go.
Cabin crew, doors to manual and cross-check.
I love this airplane. Fuel pumps can come off. APU can stay on, that's fine. Yeah, I know you're barking, it's fine. It's okay. You're on the ground, nothing's gonna happen. Generators can come off. Galley power. Take off galley power. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. All that stuff can... Oh, no, that stuff should stay on. That should stay off. That can come off. And all these guys. And we might as well turn off our avionics. Whoop. That was weird. That was really strange. Friend said Microsoft 2024 was downloading at 800 megabytes per second while he was playing it. That's a bit high. Your internet's only 500, yeah. Well, it'll take what you can give it, right? So, right, can we get some ground power? Is it going to give us the option? Put chocks on. Ground power, please. We can let our passengers off. Go. Bring that in. And APU gen can come off. APU pumps can come off. That kills the packs. And the fans can come off. And the APU. Stop the APU. And that's us basically back to ground zero. So there you go. Cairo Airport. Big thank you to Nighthawk who flew with me today and I was able to see at the end. I don't know if this is handcrafted or not, actually. It looks more interesting than your standard default, doesn't it? Definitely broken gates again, though. I hate that. So anyway, welcome to Cairo, folks. We will continue our flight next week, possibly in 2024. I will make an announcement during the week if we're going to proceed in 2024. It all very much depends on where we are, but we will be departing, if it's 2024 or 2020, regardless, we will be departing from Cairo. If the fly-by-wire A320 is working in 2024, I suspect we might use that. And as soon as I'm able to download marketplace stuff, we can get the ATR and all sorts of other things, of course, without our beautiful positive rate level race. But that's another thing. If Dark Fury is watching, we'd be interested to know how hard or easy it is to bring liveries over to 2024, because it would be great if we could do that. Anyway. That was a great flight, really enjoyed it, and you loved the 736. That is fantastic, Nighthawk. It is a really good plane. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's going to be in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 as well, so it's really cool. Your ATR is already on 24. Yeah, I think I saw mine as well, but I haven't tried it yet, so maybe I'll give that a go, because that would be fun. That would be really cool to have the ATR already ready to go. And actually, for that, if the add-on linker is working for 2024, I might just see if those textures work. But I think liveries have to be adjusted somehow for 2024. There's some sort of different lighting or layer issue. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a chat with Flight Design. We'll see what we can do. Apart from that, thanks for coming along today, guys. It's been great to see everybody, and I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. I'm currently waiting for the snowplows to come through here so that we can potentially go visit my mother at some point later this afternoon. Great streams. See everyone, says Ms. Tippy. Thank you very much. All the best to you guys. Have a great weekend. Do come listen tomorrow at skyblueradio.com at 1400 Zulu if you're around. And how much snow did you get? We got about a foot. But it is starting to warm up now, so we're expecting it all to melt by the end of the day. Strangely. So, which is good, because right now I haven't seen a snowplow. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're even coming out today. They should have been here ages ago. and it's it's not passable until those plows get out. There's no way I'm driving on Scottish roads with untreated, with no that haven't been plowed. It's just too dangerous, way too dangerous. So, because you're going up hills and bends, and okay, so with that, I'll bid you adieu, guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you right here on Positive Rate next week, possibly in 2024. Take care.
Naughty, naughty.